Well, welcome, Mark, and welcome to our listeners today. This is actually the second podcast we're doing today, and I remember on our first one we were complaining it was 2 degrees this morning when we got up, and it was freezing cold, and I think we're thawing out.
It's a heat wave at 8 degrees, I think. You know?
Today I'm really pleased about today's interview because we're at the Gordon, I guess I call it the Gordon TAFE, it was the Gordon Institute of TAFE. And we're in the culinary school, and we're talking to 2 people today. And we're talking, most importantly, Leonie, to Pippa Macpherson, who is in her 3rd year as an apprenticeship and is employed by the organisation in their fabulous restaurant that's called the Davidsons. And we're also with Leonie Mills, who's the commercial food and beverage manager of this whole operation.
So we should say why we're here today, which is that you were lucky enough to be the winner of a degustation meal here at the Gordon.
That's right.
And I was lucky enough to be part of the 4 party that came along, our partners and each other. And we had a magnificent meal. And I love degustation meals because it forces you to eat things that you probably wouldn't pick off a menu because you have to eat it. And we then discovered Pippa was in the kitchen as the chef, and you rushed out there to have a chat, and here we are. So it was a great meal and beautifully prepared. So welcome, Pippa.
Thanks for having me.
That's good. Now, Leonie, before we move on, tell our listeners a bit about this renovation and what you've got here, because we are really impressed with what we're seeing.
Oh, that's lovely. So we are called, our commercial side of the culinary school is called the Culinary Collective. So we have our customer-facing food and beverage operations, some cafeterias, a lovely new cafe, and then our flagship restaurant, the Davidsons Restaurant. So when we were renovating that, it was pretty tired, and now we've had a little bit of a spruce up in the restaurant and certainly in the kitchen, which is fantastic. A heritage building though, so we kept it to the heritage of the actual building. And we've employed an executive chef, Daniel Brio, and our apprentice Pippa, who's here today. And we have a native Australian ingredient inspired menu.
Well, sorry, I've got a frog in my throat. We didn't have frog on the menu, did we?
No.
No, I didn't think so. A frog's legs. But I was really impressed with the menu, and so were our wives. But they're not drinking, so in between each course, we had a different wine, and they were excellent as well. So that was good.
They were beautifully paired with the food, so it was very
lovely.
good.
Oh, they were. Okay, Pippa, over to you. 3rd year apprentice. What made you become an apprentice at the Gordon?
Well, and cooking has always been a passion of mine, and I always told everyone I just want it to be my hobby, so I went off and did a traineeship at a community centre, but ended up not really enjoying it because I was doing mostly like administration, front of desk stuff. So my nan and my auntie in particular were like, you need to go study at the Gordon, go do a certificate. So I just started as just a normal student, and then I got offered an apprenticeship at a cafe, which sadly fell through due to COVID, but yeah, now I'm here, which is pretty awesome.
And have you always enjoyed cooking?
Yeah.
So what's your favourite thing to cook?
Pastries and desserts.
And one particular?
Oh, it changes all the time. Like whatever I'm trying new.
And you like experimenting?
Yeah.
Fantastic.
So let's go back a bit. Where did you grow up? Are you a Geelong girl, a local? So where'd you grow up? Where'd you go to school? And tell us a bit about yourself.
So I'm from Belmont, and I went to Roslyn Primary School and then Belmont High. And then, Well,
that's a famous high school, isn't
Very
it?
well known.
That's right, exactly. So it was fortunate that you're able to follow your passion. That's the main thing. Now, Mark, the other interesting thing with Pippa is that she was chosen to go to the... Now, tell me what the competition was that you went to where you won a silver medal. Tell us about that.
So I went and competed last year at the TAFE Culinary Trophy. So it's like for Victoria, I guess, finals. And I won a silver medal and was the, I guess, finalist for the second year. So then I went and competed at the National Apprentice competition.
Where was that?
It was in Melbourne at the Fine Food Show last year.
Yeah.
And is that representing Victoria against all the other
States?
states?
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. Great honour for you.
How nervous were you?
I'm pretty nervous.
So did you do lots of practice? Did you know what you were going to cook before you got there?
Yeah, so I did heaps of practice with like the teachers here, and we got given like a brief with like what we had to do. I think I had to do a chicken main and a chicken entree. So like you were told what you could use, what you can't use, and then you just come up with a dish from there and cook it in a certain time frame.
Well done. That's a great accolade for you and also to the school, isn't it,
certainly
Leonie?
is, and I think she's being a bit modest there because she was also in Proud to be a Chef, which is another amazing competition, and it's a real honour to be asked to go into that competition. And then you're competing in one at the moment as well.
Yeah, I'm doing the TAFE Culinary Trophy again this year for third years, which is actually next week. So
Oh, well, good luck.
yeah, thank you.
Is there an international one you can go for and they've got to send you overseas? That would be a good idea, wouldn't it?
Yeah, well, that one's coming up as well because Pippa also won Apprentice of the Year for the Gordon, and she will be competing against other Apprentices of the Year again with other TAFEs as well. So, yeah, she's certainly right up there. We're really proud of her.
Mark, it makes my barbecue of chops that I had a couple of nights ago look very lonely, very insignificant.
So Pippa, how do you prepare for these competitions? Do you study a heap of recipes or?
Yeah, I like look at lots of recipes, go on YouTube, talk to like everyone here, like Daniel and the teachers, and then just do practice runs.
And then when you get there, you've got an indication before you get there of what you might be cooking?
Yeah, we already know because we come up with the dishes ourselves.
Okay.
Yeah, but there is other competitions that are mystery boxes where you don't know what you get until you get there.
And are they fun?
I haven't done one of them yet,
Okay.
but yeah.
Oh, you'll have to practice that. Tell me, if you were cooking a meal for yourself, what would it be?
Well, I'm a really simple eater. Like, I'd just eat like a mango, but I don't know. I like cooking for other people more than myself. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, a mango, that wouldn't suit Mark and I. I think in fact, the reason that we came to this degustation dinner was that we went to an afternoon tea at the pier in Geelong with Richardson. What's his first name? Adrian Richardson.
Yeah.
And there was a prize, and I think it was under your plate. And my wife picked hers up, and there was the prize.
Ah,
so,
fantastic.
yeah, I guess now the other thing is that I know you've got some long-term goals because we've been researching you as much as we can, and it's if we asked you to map out where you think you'll go over the next 5 years, give us a bit of a roadmap. What do you think will happen?
To be honest, like, I don't really know because...
What would you like to happen?
Do more competitions.
Yeah.
I don't know, try new things.
Would you like to work in a restaurant or open your own? What's your...
Maybe, like, not in 5 years.
Yep.
Maybe a bit longer down the track. Maybe have my own restaurant. But, like, I'd like to study patisserie. Like, that's probably one of my main goals at the
That's good.
moment.
Well,
That's really important because that's a skill that's lacking in chefs in the industry. So we have kind of encouraged Pippa to do that because if you have a dual qualification in cookery and patisserie, that will really just send her right up to the
look
top.
at all those the famous eatery places around the world and some of the big hotels. That's all an integral part of their menu, isn't it?
That's right,
You know,
yeah. So she's across them both. It's fantastic.
Once again, I found an article about you and it said that your future goal is to travel. I think that's it.
Yeah.
I have no doubt you'll be travelling to lots of exotic places and working in some good and probably some bad places at the same time. And eventually I'm sure that you'll probably own your own restaurant. But I think you've got a lot of experiences coming before you get to that. So what do you like about coming to TAFE?
it's just like a really supportive environment. Like everyone's so nice, and then especially with all the new kitchens, new equipment, that's pretty exciting to come to. Especially, I started when it was the old kitchens, and now seeing the new ones, it's just really cool.
Does it make it easier to learn?
Yeah, like because stuff works.
No, fair enough.
Well, Mark,
That's an honest answer, isn't it? When it's old and run down, that's always a problem.
well, a bit like a car, isn't it? Mark and I did a tour of it not long ago, and I tell you what, I was impressed with that room you got there where you teach baristas and all the coffee machines there.
Yeah,
And you've got a fully fledged bakery set up as well.
We do, yeah. So that was one of the main things that when we were designing all of the kitchens was to make sure that we were delivering to the industry what their real needs are. So there's a lot of cafes, and we want to make sure that we're training the baristas up to be the best they can on the best machines and in the best facilities. So we had that. The bakery and patisserie kitchen is absolutely amazing. So all the best equipment in there. So it's really great to be seeing those being used, and all of the fancy equipment in there, Pip, isn't it? Yeah, it's good.
So cool.
It's great to see.
So are you having a good intake of students? Are people wanting to be chefs and pastry cooks? And
It's coming back a bit now. So I know that there was, a little bit of negativity around our industry with certain celebrities not paying people properly and so forth. But I think the industry is really changing. It's really turning around because we had the shortages. There's quite a lot of money in the industry now. So you're coming up through the ranks as an apprentice and you're earning good money. And then, that money is still around. So that's great. And that always encourages people through. But yeah, there's it's certainly changing around, which is great to see.
Pippa, what do you do outside of being an apprentice? Or are you too busy
I
doing
do
this?
cook and bake a lot at home. Like I'm always cooking and baking. But I also play footy for South Barwon.
Oh, well done.
Yeah.
Good. Now, looking at you, you look like a rover to me. So what age group do you, or is it, what competition do you play
I play for the senior women.
in?
Yeah.
And how long you been doing that?
A few years now.
Yeah.
Like I did it like in juniors, so like under 10s and 9s. And then Mum wouldn't let me because she was scared I was going to hurt myself. But then I convinced her to let me come back in 2020. But then COVID kind of ruined that for a couple of years. So I came back again last year.
you enjoy it?
Yes, really fun.
Good fun. Excellent.
Yeah, well, and lots of training, I could imagine. But it wouldn't be too cold playing in mornings like we've got at the moment.
So, Pippa, we've got lots of people that listen to what we chat about. You may not think so. It sounds a bit inane, but we do. What would you suggest to someone that wants to get into being a chef, and how would you suggest they go about it? What do they need to do?
Like if you're thinking about it, just give it a go, even though you're scared. Like I was scared. But yeah, just come to the Gordon and talk to the teachers and the information sessions, because that really helped me going to information sessions.
Yeah. And Mark, it's not only just in this particular school, but this applies to any business owner that is listening to us about the importance of apprentices.
Yep,
And we're coming out of a period, or I hope we're coming out of a period where people didn't put the effort or the money or the training into apprenticeships. And I know a young guy that was Apprentice of the Year in the landscaping area here. But there's all the other trades, and I know there's all within the smash repair industry. I think there's a school down in East Geelong for that. But my suggestion, having run different businesses as an interim CEO over the years, is I was always shocked at the lack of effort put into apprentices. And unfortunately, they don't get paid enough to live sometimes, but it's and parents and teachers should be encouraged to promote apprenticeships wherever they can, and particularly I'm an advocate of the TAFE because I taught for 5 years at RMIT TAFE or Victoria University TAFE really in Certificate in Small Business Management. So Leonie, that leads me on to my question. It's a long-winded question, isn't it? what business skills or skills such as running a business or on the management side of a business are you able to put into your program for your chefs doing apprenticeships?
Sure. Well, I'll start with I actually came to the Gordon 30 years ago myself, so to do exactly what Pippa's doing, and it's quite funny. I didn't actually realise you went to Belmont High, but I went to Belmont High as well. Pippa's got red hair. I've got red hair.
I noticed that.
I'm watching my
I'm looking across the aisle, across the table here at Twins.
Yes. So I did my cookery apprenticeship here. Best place. It was absolutely amazing. I then went to Melbourne and travelled and also owned a couple of my own businesses as well. So I'm really passionate about apprenticeships because it really changed my life, and I think it's fantastic for everybody. For anybody who's interested in cookery or a trade, hands-on learning is fantastic. When it comes to management, there's many different opportunities for management courses at the Gordon. So you can start with your trade. If you start in your trade, you can then go up into your Certificate 4 and do that. And then you can also go to your diploma where you're learning all sorts of management skills to run your own business or to manage a business. So whether it's rostering, financials, all of those sorts of things you can certainly do here. And you can also go into more administration courses as well. And I think that's really important. And I wished I had have done that when I opened my first business. I wished I had have done that.
Well, as I say, I used to teach Cert 4 in small business at Victoria University. And at the beginning of the year, you would ask a group of students, well, who's going to start their business at the end of the year? And all the hands would go up. By the time you got to the end of the year, 2 hands would go up because by doing that training, they realised I really need to go and work somewhere else first, gain the experience. Just like you, Pippa, you've said you'll go out and you'll get experience, you'll work in different places, you'll travel, and then you'll come back and then you can make a decision about what I want to do for the next
I think that's really, really important.
Yeah.
And I learnt from mistakes, and it'd be so much better if I had that the business knowledge behind me when I started my first.
So your aim is to try and make people rounded.
That's correct.
To go off. They might be a great chef, but they also understand business so that they can go out and do their own thing.
Yeah, and also, especially with cookery and hospitality, it is really important that you do get out and work in other businesses and different businesses. So you might work in a cafe, a fine dining restaurant. You might go and work for a hotel, in banquets or something. It's getting all of those different experience just it really makes your skills so much better and you're more knowledgeable about and rounded, as you say.
Yeah. And there's a great food scene in Geelong. There's plenty of cafes and restaurants and all sorts of different foods and varieties, so that the opportunities are there. So I've got to ask you, I did read an article where they asked you your favourite eating places, and I thought I've got to ask, where's your place you like to eat?
I like going out and getting ice cream.
Well, there's plenty of gelato bars around, isn't there?
Yeah.
Well, there's a new one just in Jerringham Street.
Yeah. But that place on Mount Pleasant Road where they do all the pastries and croissants.
Because you like the pastries.
Yeah.
And if you're looking for a proper meal rather than just pastries, what would you? Anywhere particularly you like to go to?
I don't really have anywhere.
Okay, don't say McDonald's for goodness sake.
No, not that.
No, it's good.
No, and once again, going back to our dinner the other night, the whole the food preparation. It wasn't not only the taste was fantastic; it was the preparation
And the presentation.
The presentation, yeah. And there was I particularly liked the last course, by the way, which was I'm trying to think what it was.
Was it the deconstructed lemon meringue pie?
Yeah.
You would have had a lot to do with that, Pip.
Yeah.
Was that your piece?
And there's actually a practice run for the competition for next week. Daniel's like,
there you go.
give these guys your competition dish.
That was really good.
Yeah.
It passed our test.
It passed our test. I wanted a bigger one.
That's right. So what about coming to this TAFE, the people that in your own class or your own year level, is that a good mixture of people? And is there that sort of feeling of friendship and camaraderie and all the rest of it? Could you explain that?
Yeah, we got along really well. Like at the start, obviously everyone's like a bit scared, but by the end of it, like we were really good mates and like talking about going to each other's restaurants and that. So going to eat there.
That's very good.
Well, I think you'll remain friends for life. Or you'll go your separate ways, and it'll be amazing how. And Mark and I talk about opportunities and tipping points happen in your life, and you'll end up in places, and you'll meet people, and it's a bit like us. You know, you go somewhere and you meet somebody, and you last saw them 20 years ago. You know, and that's life, isn't it?
It is life. It is the way it goes. So, how do people get to the Gordon? What's the application process? When's the intakes?
Sure. So we do have an intake mid-year for commercial cookery. So there's a couple of options that you can do if you wanted to get into the industry. So there's plenty of apprenticeships out there in industry. So I would encourage that first. I think it's such a great way to do your training, to work as well as train. You come to school once a week. So that's great. However, if you're wanting to fast track and do a commercial cookery course, we do offer that, and that's completed usually within a year or just over a year, and you're coming to school 3 to 4 days a week, and that's full time. So you'll get a certificate, certificate 3 in cookery if you do it that way. However, it's not a trade certificate, so you would then need to go out and work in the industry to complete a trade certificate. So we've got a mid-year intake, and then we'll also have then at the start of next year as well for our full-time classes, but apprenticeships are sort of rolling throughout the year.
So the mid-year intake's when?
July.
So it's getting close.
Yeah, so still time to apply.
Still can apply.
Well,
okay, cool.
That's the old mantra of learning by doing,
yes,
isn't it? And that's what you're doing, Pippa, is how lucky, well, not lucky, it's through your skills that here you are doing apprenticeship and working as a junior chef, I suppose, in the kitchen, and it's not just theory and it's not just standing in a school environment or class environment. You're actually at the coalface, and you have to wear every mistake you make.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Now, okay, on that, what was your biggest mistake so far? We won't tell anyone, right? What do you think it was?
I don't know. I burn a lot of caramel.
Well, that's
and you
not
wouldn't
hard
be the
to
last person to burn caramel.
That's right.
I think on MasterChef the other night somebody burnt the caramel, and they're under intense pressure. So, and of course the TAFE's free.
It is free TAFE for cookery at the moment, yes, yeah. So that's been a fantastic initiative from the government, because we certainly need more staff in the industry. So, yeah, that's great.
It's very important.
Well, Mark, you and I both know through other associations we've got in the region of the new hotels that are starting up, the new convention centre that's coming to Geelong.
Plenty of opportunities.
It's the Commonwealth Games. There's going to be an enormous boost of activity coming up. So the demand, I'm not sure we can meet the demand.
Well, I hope so, because I'm working with sort of some opportunities there as well with the TAFE. But what we would really not like to see is people coming from other states or from Melbourne to our regions to meet that demand. We should have we need to be utilising our local businesses, our local produce, everything like that. So, yeah, so long as we've got all of our people being used first, I'll be happy.
And I saw that the Holiday Inn was advertising for people the other day.
Yes.
Yeah, well, that's the latest opening.
Yeah,
coming
so
up,
I think they wanted people in cooking, and I can't remember. I saw the ad and I thought, that's interesting. Do they reach out to you, or?
Yes, we've got the Skills and Jobs Centre here at the Gordon, so all sorts of different businesses
Brilliant.
and that's free. I really encourage, if you are looking as a business for somewhere to advertise your positions, it is free, and it does go out to many people using the Skills and Jobs Centre.
So, Pippa, how long you got to go to finish your apprenticeship again?
End of this year.
End of this year. And what do you think next year will bring to you, you?
I don't know. Maybe try do my patisserie. focus
So
on
keep
that.
learning, in other words.
Yeah, keep learning.
And in fact, you'll never stop learning. You know
No,
that.
yeah.
And one final question for you, Leonie, from me is, how old's your oldest apprentice?
So I've been doing this for about 33 years. Apprentice that I've hired, do you mean? Or
Yeah, so
over
in
the
your
past?
school,
Oh, in
how
the
old is
school
the
here
oldest
at the
apprentice?
moment? Oh, I couldn't tell you. I would. There is definitely one in a fellow in his 30s.
Oh, that's good. I'm pleased to hear that.
That's good.
Yeah, so people certainly do jump out of other careers and into cookery. It's fantastic to show your creative side. So, as Pippa said, she started in something and thought it'd just be a hobby. But people who really love to be creative and love food, certainly encourage them over from whatever the industry they're in.
Well, Mark and I are judges on the Geelong Business Awards, and I look forward to the day where, Pippa, you've got your restaurant. Although we might not be on the panel by then. We come along and we're able to give you the top marks for running a fantastic food operation.
And a couple of other little questions. When's open day at the Gordon? When the students come pouring in to find out and do as Pippa did, come in and chat?
Yes, so the actual Gordon open day is mid August, I believe, on a Sunday. But then we have information sessions once a term where you can come in and learn specifically about that particular industry and that course. Yeah.
And how do you find the Gordon? What's the website?
Just Google the Gordon.
Just Google the Gordon and it'll
our
pop up.
commercial side, if you're wanting to come in and try the restaurant, is the Culinary Collective, and you'll see all of the bits and pieces that we've been up to with our commercial business there as well.
So booking a tablet for the Davidson through the website as well?
Yes, through the Culinary Collective.
Culinary Collective.
Yes.
And come along and enjoy Pippa's cooking, as
Superb.
we did. That's the
Superb.
secret to success,
It
isn't
is.
it?
It is. Superb food. So thank you very much, Pippa. Good luck with your future career.
Thank you.
And I look forward to one day tasting a croissant that you've made somewhere.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Leonie, and thank you, Pippa.